Hi guys, so today I'm gonna teach you how to solve algebra equations really easily. And first we're gonna start with two-step equations, but as we go through the problems we're gonna make it harder each time. So our first equation that you're gonna solve is 2x plus 5 equals 21. So first what you're gonna have to do is cancel out the 5. So negative 5 to both sides. And then you bring down the equal sign, and then 21 minus 5 is going to be 16, and then you're also going to have to bring the 2x as well, so 2x. Then finally we're going to have to divide this equation, so 2 so cancel out the 2, and we're going to be left with 16 divided by 2 is 8, and that's going to be our final answer. Let's try a similar problem to this. So we're gonna put 2x plus 3 equals 15. So you're gonna have to cancel out the 3 first. So negative 3 to both sides. And then 15 minus 3 is 12. And then you bring down the 2x right over here. And then you're gonna have to divide by 2. And you're gonna be left with 12 divided by 2 is 6. And that's gonna be your final answer. Okay, so now let's try to do this problem. So 9 equals 34 plus x divided by 4. So first what you're going to have to do is put negative 34 to both sides. So 34 minus 9 is going to be 6. So 6 equals x divided by 4. So we had to cancel out the 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by 4 to each side. So times 4 times 4. So 6 times 4 is going to be 24 over here. And then 4 times 4 is going to be cancelled on this side, which we're going to be left with x. So this is going to be our final answer. Okay, so now let's try to solve this problem, which is a little bit more complex, but it's actually not that complex, but it's really easy. So what you're gonna have to do is combine the like terms. So 5 and 3 both have x's. So 5 plus 3 is going to be 8x. So 8x plus 8 equals 32. So you're gonna have to put negative 8 to both sides, and they cancel out. So 32 minus 8 is going to be 24. And then you're going to put down the 8 over here, 8x. And then you're going to divide 8 in both sides. And then your final answer is going to be x equals 3. There's two ways to solve a problem like this. So I'm going to show you the first way to do it. So negative 5 to each side. So cancel out the 5, and you're going to be left with 4x minus 6 equals 18. So plus 6 to each side, and it's going to make it 24. Then put down the 4 right over here, 4x, then you're going to divide by 4, and it's going to be x equals 6, and this is going to be your final answer. Let's try a similar equation to this. So what we're going to do is put 4x plus 8 equals 3x plus 10. So we're going to put negative 4 onto the right side, and then 4 cancels out, and we're going to put the 10 into the left side. So negative 10, and then cancel them too. So you're going to be left with negative 1x, while for the left side you're going to be left with negative 2 equals. And then you're going to have to divide. So negative 1, and it cancels out, and you're going to be left with positive 2. So x equals positive 2, and that will be your final answer. Let's make it a little bit harder. So we're gonna do a multi-step equation, and what we're gonna do is we are gonna multiply right here, and then 23 times 3 is going to be 69, and then negative 3 times 3 is going to be negative 6x plus 3x equals 48. So since these are like terms, you could add them together. So you're going to end up with negative 3x equals 48 and 69 over here. So you're going to do negative 69 onto both sides. So negative 69 minus 48 would be negative 21. So you're going to bring down the 3, so negative 3x, and then you're going to divide. So negative 3, and cancel out the 3, and negative 21 divided by negative 3 would be 7, and that would be your final answer. Okay, so let's do a similar equation to this. So we're going to write negative 3x minus 4 parentheses 4x minus 8, and then 3 parentheses negative 8x negative 1. Okay, so how would we solve something like this? So first we're going to have to multiply, and then negative 4 times 4x is going to be negative 16x, and then negative 8 times negative 4 would be positive 32, and then equals, and then you're going to bring down negative 3x right over here, negative 3x, and then you're going to do the same thing to the other side, so times it. So 3 times negative 8 is going to be negative 24x, and then 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and then you're gonna add these two together because they are like terms, and you're gonna end up with negative 19x plus 32 equals negative 24x minus 3. So I'm gonna bring the x to the other side, so positive 24x plus 24x, and then it's going to cancel out, and it would be 5x plus 32 equals negative 3. So minus 32 to each side, cancel out the 32, and negative 32 and negative 3 would be negative 35. So negative 35 equals 5x. So I'm gonna bring the equation right over here a little bit. So 5x equals negative 35, and then you're gonna have to divide it. So 5, and then cancel out the 5, and the final answer is going to be x equals negative 7. And that would be your final answer. We're going to do one last problem. So 0.2x plus 0.3 equals 1.5. The only difference is that it's in decimals. So it's actually kind of like the last ones that we did. So we are going to do negative 0.3 to both sides, then cancel out the 0.3, and you're going to be left with 1.2, and then bring down the 0.2 right over here, 0.2x, and then divide by both sides. So 0.2 cancel out, and when you divide 1.2 by 0.2, the final answer is going to be x equals 6, and that is your final answer. Thank you for watching.